Well, chaps, we made it. Well, we made it to the end of Sundowning, at least. So, hey, only 3 albums to go! So, I want to start off this video today a little bit differently. I'd like to say thank you, because I was informed by my Twitch chat earlier on this week that I've been doing this for about a year now. I know, it's weird to even think of myself as a YouTuber or content creator is still just a bit mad to me, but we've moved from TikTok to YouTube, to streaming on Twitch 4 days a week, to having a members page on Ko-fi, to having merchandise, which still blows my fucking mind. So I want to say thank you to all of you. This has become such a huge part of my life now, and it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for this community that we've built. I'm so incredibly proud that we all have somewhere, that I have somewhere where I can talk about love and grief and emotions and lyrics and music and even my own battles with certain things. So on June 26th, so the end of next month, on the week of June 26th, I'm going to be doing some special streams over on Twitch where I'm going to be giving away digital copies of the Teeth of God graphic novel, the Sleep Token graphic novel, and also doing some special themed streams for that. It will also be 6 years of being clean from the stuff that nearly destroyed my life as well. So I think that's worth celebrating too. So I just want to say thank you if you've liked the video, if you've subscribed, or you've become a member on Ko-fi or anything. Thank you. There have been many times in my life where I felt like the wolves were circling, and often now when they're at the door, you give me a sense of purpose, and I am eternally grateful for it. And like I said, as long as you guys are here, I will spend a lifetime giving it back. Also, as a special thank you to my members on Ko-fi, all the information will be in the description and stuff. Listen, if you want to become a member, that would be amazing. Obviously, it's the lifeblood of everything I do. As a special thank you to my members there is also a companion video to this video on Bloodsport today, which I will release later on in the week, which is Bloodsport from the room below. And I've taken a particular dive into the vocal performance that Vessel gives, the vocal techniques, the songwriting construction, maybe a little bit more on why it is so utterly devastating a performance. And that leads very nicely to today's video on Bloodsport from Sleep Token's Sundowning. And yeah, devastating, I think, is a pretty key word here, because this phrase, this word in the English language, we associate with gladiators and violence and spectacle. That word, of course, is Bloodsport. But the reason why the word Bloodsport that we associate, obviously, with, and there will be, by the way, discussions later on of self-harm, and I will put up a trigger warning just before I'm going to get that, and I'm sure you can jump to the next section. I'll put the time markers. But the reason why the word Bloodsport is so disturbing is because it's not just violence. It is organized violence. If you like, it is ritualized suffering. It's almost a system where pain becomes entertainment. And historically, blood sports aren't accidents. They're organized gladiatorial events where, like in Rome, we've had bullfighting. Obviously, we know about cockfighting and as much as it turns my stomach to think of it, dog fighting, that still exists even now in very civilized, allegedly, parts of the world. 2 participants enter an arena, and the only thing you can guarantee is that one or both are going to bleed. So why then Bloodsport? Why did Sleep Token choose to write a song about Bloodsport? Well, I think it potentially is because it's about when love itself becomes indistinguishable from suffering. And potentially it's about where pain stops being a side effect or a byproduct of the intimacy and becomes an integral part of it. And this is why I think it's one of the most terrifying psychological ideas anywhere in the Sleep Token back catalogue. It's not Vessel just singing about potentially, and again, all of my interpretations could be bollocks, it's not Vessel singing about Don't know what that was. It's not Vessel singing about I lost someone or I lost somebody. It's saying we turned our love into combat. Or potentially it's only one-sided, but I'll get to that later on. See, a lot of songs about breakups, potentially, they explode outwards. But this collapses inward. And as much as I can absolutely be swayed either way that Bloodsport is potentially the epilogue of this album, it feels like this is consequence. This is what's left, and that is what is terrifying about Bloodsport in general, is that the spectacle ends, the crowd leave, there is silence, but there are consequences. There is accountability and shame in that lyric. But also there is a level of self-awareness and even self-recognition. Because, as I said, Bloodsports are organized, ritualistic to an extent, and it's repeated violence with a structure which mirrors toxic attachment cycles almost perfectly. There's conflict, reconciliation, intensity, conflict, reconciliation, conflict, reconciliation. It becomes a cycle, and it essentially does that until the nervous system collapses. It essentially does that over and over again until you become addicted to the volatility. You begin associating that emotional intensity with that attachment, with your definition of love. And so people return to the arena, whether they are watching or whether or not they're actually in the pit themselves. They return again and again, addicted, if you like, to the pain. And what is interesting about the end of this album, I say interesting, what's heartbreaking about it really, is there's no cathartic release at the end here. There's no triumphant climax for our protagonist. There's no victorious ending. It just doesn't matter. And this is where content warning going up now about self-harm, because it becomes even darker psychologically when you start thinking of it from this perspective. Because here's where Bloodsport becomes even darker psychologically if you look at it from this perspective. Because the bloodshed here isn't metaphorical, but it is potentially self-inflicted. And I think there is a very real interpretation of this song where the phrase, "I made loving you a blood sport," is not describing emotional violence between two people. It is internalized. The grief, the obsession, the rejection, and the dependency can all be turned inward. Suddenly, you are the one with the blade hiding in your palm. Because although it may start as a conflict between two people, eventually, one of them, our protagonist here, the character seems to be punishing themselves. It is flagellation. It is they feel that they must be punished. Not all the time, though, but we'll get to that in the lyric breakdown in a moment. And this is where the imagery of blood is really important. And blood is mentioned across a load of the Sleep Token catalogue, because blood isn't violence. Well, it's not just violence. Blood's life. Literally, it is life. But blood can also be sacrifice. It can be injury made visible. Literally, pain made visible. Historically, blood rituals, whether religious or sacrificial or ceremonial, they symbolized purification through suffering. The idea that somehow pain proves devotion. And Sleep Token constantly play with this idea throughout their back catalogue that suffering somehow proves or is evidence of love, and that endurance becomes worship and pain becomes intimacy. And sometimes that's totally okay. A lot of people do find that line between pain and pleasure, and it's on a scale. You know, there's a lot of people who, like some things that you don't. And if you do, bully for you. Psychologically, there's absolutely a reading of this song that you can align with self-destructive behavior, because when Vessel, or the man behind the mask, sings, "I made loving you a blood sport," there's a way of reading it where it's a confession that he's saying, I turned loving you into an act that wounded me physically. I made loving you a ritual of damage. And if you look at the emotional structure of the song as well, it also feels like it's consumed by shame. It isn't a song that's full of rage. It's full of shame and exhaustion and self-condemnation, especially obviously in the line, "Let me pay for my arrogance." Let me pay for my arrogance. That line feels almost penitential, like somebody believing that they deserve punishment. And that mindset is tragically common in people who feel emotionally trapped inside cycles of guilt and rejection or abandonment or even dependency. The brain begins to turn the violence inward because the inward pain is easier to control than the emotional uncertainty. And this is where Bloodsport becomes even more horrifying, because the arena isn't a pit. The arena isn't the back of a pub. It isn't a car park. It isn't. The arena of violence is your mind. The arena becomes the self. You are the one holding the blade. And this is where one could even interpret it slightly further if you're going to dive into Jungian psychology, which we often talk about on here, because Carl Jung believed that whatever remains unacknowledged within us eventually will manifest itself destructively. The shadow cannot remain buried forever. What you resist persists. And of course, in many cases, unresolved shame becomes self-sabotage, becomes self-destruction. Because human beings, Homo sapiens, we can feel more comfortable hurting ourselves than confronting the possibility that we are unloved. We do not seek the truth, we seek comfort. And sometimes in the most barbaric of ways. Because underneath all of the poetic language here, potentially, Bloodsport captures something that is frighteningly human. We stay in emotional arenas long after we should have left them. We shed blood. We shed life for people who have no intention of protecting us. Maybe even worse, we believe that bleeding proves that the love was real, that somehow pain is proof of devotion, that suffering becomes worship. Look, I know this is heavy, and nor am I, or shall I ever pretend to know anything about the personal situations between the people involved with writing these songs. I have no care to know. All I can do is interpret it through the evidence that we are given, which is obviously the language used in this song, the emotional construction of it, the pain in his voice. So there you are. Before we get into the song itself, and I'm really, really excited. I deliberately haven't listened to this for ages, so that today, I kind of listen to it with fresh ears. We'll go into the sigils. The sigil, of course, the design that was used as the logo for this song, which immediately, I think all of us can say, well, it looks like a fucking target, doesn't it? It's just who we're aiming at. But there is some alchemical stuff in here as well, so let's get to that right now. And so one final time we head back into this wonderful document, which obviously is linked below. This is not made by me. This was a fan-made collection, and a lot of work went into this. So yes, please do have a look if you'd like to. It's all linked in the description below. So thank you, Bloodsport, for existing as the only simple one of these to sort out. That's a lie. It's not that simple. Wax. So if the spokes were a bit longer, it might have been either tree oil or, what's that? Hematite stone. Goodness me, can't read. But I think the safer bet is to keep it as wax. If you knock off the top and left spokes when you have something very close to white arsenic. But again, the spokes are too short for me to call it that. Number 2 is niter. This one could be niter, potassium nitrate, or soda ash, which is sodium carbonate. The symbol has been used for both, but I'm going with niter here for the cask of Amontillado. I think it's Amontillado. Reference that I'll let... there you go, to save space and prevent me from rambling any further. So, in Edgar Allan Poe's story, The Cask of Amontillado, the niter has a symbolic meaning as well. As Fortunato is led deeper into the catacombs of Montresa's family, the niter increases. Montresa has premeditated the murder of Fortunato, goodness me, and he plays with his victim the way a cat sometimes plays with its prey before killing it. Montresor is pretending to be concerned with Fortunato's health, when the truth is he's absolutely no regard for Fortunato. This is brilliant. The symbolic meaning of the niter is that Fortunato is being led further into Montresor's web, just like the web-like niter on the walls is increasing. Webs, somebody call Clive. 3 is double. So it's the 3 dots on the top here. Double. The arrangements of dots most often goes with oil, or more specifically, oil of tartar. However, when you flip it vertically, it becomes the symbol for flintstone, among others. The combination of the two has some interesting implications, really. If you take only the outermost dots in the 4-point configuration, then you have essential oil. I don't think that plays into it, but once again, trying to cover the possibilities. And the extra here is if you want to go looking for more layered symbols, you can knock out the bottom spoke of wax, plus remove the end lines, and then you're left with the symbol for body or spirit. So there you go. Shall we all steel ourselves, because the final song from Bloodsport, potentially the epilogue, potentially the aftermath, from Sleep Token's incredible album, for the final time, here is the last track from Sundowning. This is Bloodsport.
Stars align again, even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, and the heavens just won't open up for me. Would you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? Won't you show me your weakness?
It's pre and post.
I made loving you on Bloodsport. I made loving you on Bloodsport. I made loving you on Bloodsport. I can't wear.
Such a high octave line there.
I made loving you on Bloodsport. I made loving you on Bloodsport. I made loving you on Bloodsport. I can't wear.
Medical
so
about
let's
that.
Play
this beautiful trill.
Somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing. And out there,
fucking lyrics.
Stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. You say it doesn't matter. I wanna be forgiven. I wanna choke up chunks of
Get
my
fucked.
own sins. Even if the sky cracks in morning and the heavens just won't open up for me. You invite me in again. Let me pay for my arrogance. Won't you show me your weakness? I made loving you
Well, I hurt like a bitch. Well, as many of you know, my dad was quite an emotional chap. But even to this day, I still, when I think of him, nothing ever quite hurt my heart as much as seeing him trying not to cry. Whether it was in a social situation or whether it was... There is something about seeing a man, particularly of a certain age, hardened to life in a way that I will never be, holding it together. And when you can't hold it together anymore, and you hear anybody weep, as most of you here will know, who follow me on Twitch, you know, I don't normally listen to the end of Bloodsport because I can't hack it. Because for some reason, hearing that sobbing, nope, no. So the fact that it was left in as a conscious choice, as a production choice, as whomever made the choice, George Lever, the man behind the mask, to it's fucking pure emotional damage, isn't it? So let's talk about some of the dynamic choices that have been made in Bloodsport in terms of the music, because it's so sparse at the beginning. It just sits around. There's a really nice reverb effect here. There's reverbs and delays here, of course, as there is with most modern music, but it almost feels like the reverb comes before and after when Vessel is singing. Feel my stars align again, even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, and the heavens just won't open up for me. And the next song that we are going to get to in Sleep Token's catalogue, ignoring deluxe versions and all the other stuff, just looking at it in the 12-song albums of the potential trilogy of Trauma, which is Sundowning Tomb and Take Me Back to Eden. The next thing we're going to get to is Atlantic. And there are blue lights over murder. There is waking up in a hospital bed. But in the visualizer here, for the first time, we do see medical apparatus. The idea that it isn't just blood, that again there's consequence to this in the visualizer. There is, and again, please do tell me in the comments, those of you who are more medically minded than I am, what these machines actually are in the visualizer, because quite often we see. But yes, musically we start off fairly sparse. Would you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? Won't you show me your weakness? Weakness. There's some really interesting choices that Vessel makes in his phrasing in Bloodsport. I talk about it more extensively in the Room Below version, but there's some transatlanticisms as well, where one is not, as I'm led to believe by the majority of his phrasing of words, obviously from the south, he would say path rather than me from the north. I would say path, grass and grass. Like the difference between how I talk and how Lauren talks. But there are some interesting show me your weakness, little schwa in the middle there, just to break it up. And what it does for me, at least, is they become earworms when one sings something in a slightly odd manner, maybe in a way that I'm not used to hearing. Then it becomes like it's like stimulus almost from a vocal perspective.
I made loving you a Bloodsport. I made loving you a Bloodsport. I made loving you a Bloodsport. I can't win.
Can't win. Southern British. But there are at least two voices here, and very poignantly, and one can hypothesize about this, and please do. Like I said, my interpretations are designed to sit beside yours, not against them. And like I said, could all be bollocks. But the fact that we get two voices here does make me go, oh, well, is this a call and response, or is this two people singing to each other? Is there an element of the vessel and the god potentially singing to one another, although the god is always presented in the masculine? In this relationship, is this are two people speaking here?
I made loving you and Bloodsport. I made loving you and Bloodsport. I made loving you and Bloodsport.
There.
I can't win.
But it almost looks like Mercury.
So
It's not
let's
like
play.
his vocal performance is just on the edge. It's full of cries, literally, like we use the term cry, where one will like the my metalcore clown horn that I talk about so much, almost like a yodel, just on the edge. And this is where the vocal line really sits here. It sits just on the edge of breaking, where one more like physically speaking, where our passagios are, where the breaks in our voices are. You can hear him sometimes riding it, his velum, his soft palate, raising it slightly and dropping it, so it goes between that kind of nasal resonance down into a like a mix voice. It's very, very clever, and it's something again that I think, as you dive deeper and deeper into this band, deeper into these performances, is that you can hear the vocal performance, the physicality of the vocal performance matching the fucking lyrics, matching the timbre, the tone of the song. It's just, and this angelic,
somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing. And out there.
and that's so. Firstly, I can't do it. I don't have the same range as Vessel at all, and this is another thing, is that one has to remember that do as much as you can learn how to sing things certain ways to emulate, to replicate what other singers do. A lot of it is literally genetics. It is physical. I can't, and we'll again, the Room Below version illustrates this a little bit better, or indeed the live version from Lafayette does. But there is grit and compression in that somewhere when it comes in.
Somewhere.
And you can hear it's not scared to be sharp. That note isn't scared to be sharp. Vessel's not scared to be sharp or flat. This is emotionally driven. This isn't about perfection. It's about being perfectly imperfect.
Somewhere the atoms
Somewhere. If I do it, I go full into like fucking metalcore scream, because I can't replicate it perfectly. I can't put enough tilt on it. But there's grit. And after that moment, the way it makes us feel sonically, or at least how it makes me feel emotionally and sonically, is we get this kind of beautiful angelic little run, and then the next thing we hear is it's not small and thin folds and falsetto and mixed voice. It's with his chest somewhere. It's tremendous.
I'm still somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. I'm still your favorite regret.
and it's assured. There are moments in these songs, and again we can talk about how much Vessel, the character, the man behind the mask, our protagonist, says, "I know, they know an awful lot. They seem to know a lot, but they never seem to be able to break the cycle." Somewhere, I know, I'm telling you, this is a statement. Somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. It is assured, and it's matched by the vocal performance here, because it's big and chesty, and he knows that I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing, and he's fucking saying it with his chest.
Stuck in a quantum pattern.
I just want to. The drums come in. It's one of my favorite drops in Sleep Token because it doesn't. There's no crash. Normally, when you're going to drop in, maybe not always, but there'll be a crash into the straight beat. But we just get a doom, which sounds like a kick and a floor tom, and it just doom, and then it sits just for a second before the beat comes in proper. Again, talking about the lyricism that Tu does through his drum performance. Like this is not just about what we are hearing with the lyrics up front. It's not just about the angelic piano structure. It's not just about the reverbs and the delays. It's about the choices that are made musically by everybody in this band, and it just the way that it comes in and it almost sits like there is a drum and it stops for a split second and then we get the beat. Then the high. It's great. Really small, but I love it. What's that machine? The way it stops, it breathes, you get that reverse fade, and then that's it. We're racing for home now in terms of this song. And I must say that as much as I do love the recorded version, nothing's topping. If you've never seen it before, I'll stick it in right now. If you've never heard the crowd do it in Lafayette, and it'll never happen again. This will never happen again. And I know that so many people on Twitch are just like, if I could travel back in time and be involved with one moment in Sleep Token, it is this. And the heavens just won't open up for me. I know, right? I know. It's just music's magic. I'm made loving you. I'm Bloodsport. I'm made loving you. I'm Bloodsport. I'm made loving you. I'm Bloodsport. In the visualizer, for the first time there, we see pressurized liquid blood when certain arteries are hit, there is an explosion of blood. It is not the same as when you nick yourself and blood slowly seeps to the surface and then perhaps comes out through the cut. There are explosive parts of your body, and the visualizer seems to it's quite off-putting here, where we get like an explosion, like somebody's paint splatter, and then that, which is a bit dark. Again, do you know what that machine is? That's where it suddenly, that's not the same as the first one. There was much more tilt in that first one. That is somewhere. It's all constriction. Like you could hear how my voice like gave up there once I stopped pushing air through. I'm doing it right now. I know. It's like your Kegels. Is that what you use for your pelvic floor? I don't know. But somewhere. It's much lower, much more chesty, it's much lower, much more chesty, much more somewhere really does guts to that one. There's pain to that one. The Adams. Turned up the distortion, turned up the compression. Somewhere, the Adams. You can hear the constriction, the distortion going in. That we're building the emotion of the song through the vocal performance as well, and it's matching that which is going on around it in terms of the guitars now, the full produced sleep toe. I've got to talk about that run. Sorry, I know I keep stopping it, but fuck it. We've listened to it once already, all the way through. The notes, I think, are out there, which is an odd run. Out there. It's out there. A very, very interesting choice of melody line, because you could... I don't know. It's difficult to sing. It's almost a little bit jazz, and I don't know. Again, there's little earworms like I was saying before. There's little nuances. That's what Sleep Token is so good at, because there's nuance in this. There are tiny little decisions being made that maybe won't grab you immediately, but you listen to this 5 or 6 times and they start to become your favorite parts of the song. So the last line of this entire album is, "You say it doesn't matter." Do you know what? Because I can't wait to do this, let's dive into the lyrics. If not my favorite, certainly very close to being one of my favorite Sleep Token songs in terms of the lyrics. So, by the way, if you've never watched one of these videos before, sometimes I like to pull them out of the musical syntax and the way they're used in terms of the construction of the song and the melody, and think about them as more of a monologue, or indeed a duologue, because so many of these songs could indeed be sung from one perspective, 2 perspectives, or even multiple perspectives as well. And again, everything I'm talking about could be abject bollocks, but fuck it. It was given to us to do this, so let's do it. I want to roll the numbers. I want to feel my stars align again. So I want to roll the numbers. I feel like that I want to get lucky, for want of a better term, maybe in that sense. But I want to take another chance. I want to roll the numbers. I want to feel my stars align again. I want to feel like everything has come together perfectly. That I have become, potentially, again, my essential self, and maybe being with you. If this is indeed sung to a lover, I want to feel like we are back aligned, even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, and the heavens just won't open up for me. I don't care. Even if the earth, it's not just that he is so enamored, so in love, so in, I don't know, potentially to an awful level. Even if the earth breaks like burnt skin. So we're talking about skin. There's an allusion here, obviously, and burnt skin. You can smell that line. Even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, where it crisps and hardens, and you can see, it's such a beautifully tragic line, and the heavens just won't open up for me. So that runs through, even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, and the heavens just won't open up for me. Now, there is also potentially there, when one opens something up, there is sexual connotations there as well. But the heavens, so we're back to we're back to reminding the audience here, kind of like in a mockumentary, or like a comedy documentary, when all of a sudden you see the camera crew, or you see the boom thing, and you're reminded, oh fuck, actually, this is meant to be a documentary rather than being shot as legit as a drama. And the heavens just won't open up for me, reminding the audience but that's where I want to be. I want to ascend. I want to be up there with you, potentially. Or what you represent for me is something heavenly, something potentially divine. Won't you invite me in? Again, also has that luster to it as well, that sexual connotation. Will you invite me into your body? Won't you invite me in? Won't you invite me into your system? Won't you invite me into your bloodstream? Won't you invite me in again? Or maybe from a more or less a sexual lusty perspective, won't you invite me into that place that you don't show anybody else? Won't you invite me into your locked box, your heart-shaped box? The key, maybe again, like he believes quite often in a lot of this Sleep Token back catalogue that he is the one, that he can save, that he is still so full of the love you want. You just won't let me in. So this is where it gets quite interesting. Won't you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? So we or at least I have interpreted this thus far as being fairly self-destructive. But there is also self-awareness here from the protagonist to potentially the antagonist, that, well, you've been arrogant too. Won't you pay for you? Won't you let me in again because you've been a bitch? Like you've been arrogant. Why won't you pay for it? Or why won't you pay for your arrogance? Because it's a question. There are question marks at the end of these lines. Would you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? Won't you show me your weakness? It's so beautiful. It's a yearning that I don't want to hurt you. Potentially, again, if I'm carrying a blade in my palm, it is not to harm you. It is to harm myself. Won't you show me your weakness? You can be weak. I will be waiting for your enemies. They have to contend with me. There is an air of protection, maybe even provider in this as well. Won't you show me your weakness? I don't want to capitalize on it. I want you to show me it so that I can feel closer to you. Again, we could dive so much into shadow work, but I don't have. Fuck me, we're nearly at the end of the album, Glenn. Just keep going. I made loving you a blood sport. I did it. You didn't do this. That is shame. That is guilt. That is. Well, it's my fault. It's my fault. The consequences fall on me. It's because of me. I did this. It's so full. Just breaking down those 7 words. I made loving you a blood sport. Fuck me. Well, I was right. And as much as I love that line, to me, the most telling part of this is I can't win. So let's play. So I often say that I don't necessarily always want to win all the time, but I like knowing the rules. How can you be expected to win if you don't know the rules? But our protagonist here is literally saying, I can't win. Like sometimes in arguments with people, your friends, your family, your significant others, you might be like, fuck, I can't win. I can't win with you. I can't, no matter what I say, black is white, red is blue, up is down. I can't win. But I can't win. So let's play. So there is already the awareness that no winning is going to happen. but I still want to play the game. Again, going back to, as we will get to in the future, you come first. I mean, it sounds like Vessel ain't coming at all, but I can't win. So let's play. Let's do it anyway. Let's just repeat the cycle. Let's tie the ribbon. Let's go to battle again. I'll let blood. I'll keep going. I'll keep going because it is a tragic cycle. It is repetition of learned behavior. I can't win. So fuck it. Let's play anyway. Because maybe somewhere in the webs, the catacombs of his mind, there is belief in our protagonist's mind that let's play. Maybe. It's like fucking Dumb and Dumber, isn't it?
More like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Maybe if I just play again, if I gamble again, if I roll the numbers, if my stars align, maybe this time, maybe this time
I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay.
I'm sorry, went a bit Liza then. And somewhere, the atoms stopped fusing. What? So quantum entanglement, constant attachment, no matter what happens, one thing can't happen here if it doesn't happen here. Somewhere the atoms, somewhere it just stopped. Somewhere the thing that just is life on an atomic level, atomic structure, it just stopped. Somewhere it stopped. And then on an atomic level, our protagonist sounds like they can't understand that. I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing. One of the best lyrics, in my opinion, in the entire Sleep Token catalogue, because it tells us so much. I'm still your favorite regret. So I'm your favorite something. But this idea that the antagonist, the object of who we are singing to, that they are regretful, that they were associated with you, that they fucked you, that they were together, whatever it was. But secretly, our protagonist is going, I know, I'm still your favorite regret though. I know that in late at night, when it's in the dark and you don't want to think of me, you do. There is an air of that to it. It's like there is just a little bit of something that goes, I might be your regret, but I'm your favorite one. And there's almost joy in that. I'm still your favorite regret. Still, forever. Repetition. I'm still. Nah, you can fuck anybody else, but you're still going to think of me when you touch yourself. Bit on the nose, Glen, but still, I stand by it. You're still my weapon of choosing. I would still choose you, even if it's a harmful thing. A weapon. A weapon is used to either defend oneself or to attack. So therein is some beautiful duality as well. You're still my weapon of choosing. I mean, in British modern slang as well, if somebody's like, being a weapon is well, it can either mean you're a bit of a wanker, or it can mean you're like dead fit. I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing. It's beautifully full of balance, or seeking balance there. We are still something to one another, and out there, wherever you may be, wherever you are in the dead of night, wherever you are, wherever I am in the world, we are stuck in a quantum pattern. it doesn't veer. We are attachment, quantum entanglement. One thing can't happen without it happening here as well. It is so beautifully huge when talking about a relationship. Fuck me, just brilliant. And here we go. Tangled with what I never said. Now, I've been thinking about this recently in relation to, is it Past Self? I think, and even in Arcadia, where I can't remember the exact lyric, where it talks about things that from years ago that I said, or that I thought I never even said. I don't know why this now feels like we've got a kind of weird link between the two of them. Tangled, entanglement, quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. Out there, stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. You say it doesn't matter. One of the worst things, and I've spoken about this before, I think that one of the worst things that you can hear as a human being, particularly in love, and particularly when one has gone to such lengths, particularly when one has been so dedicated, so devoted, so showed you such wonders, as you know, as worshipped you. For somebody to say doesn't matter, then it was all pointless. So you say it doesn't matter. Quantum entanglement. Doesn't matter. Write the most beautiful lyrics in the world. Doesn't matter. Spend your life devoted to me. Doesn't matter. Shed your own blood in devotion. Show it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's so. When I first listened to this song, I was like, what an odd way to end not just Bloodsport, but the whole album. The whole album. We get to it I'm going to, but it's the last line. You say it doesn't matter. Oh, it's so rough. It makes it. Whatever you do will never be enough. And yet, seemingly, our protagonist, our hero, continues the cycle over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But as he says, I will travel far beyond the path of reason. Fuck. Amazing. But he does. He wants to be forgiven. I want to be forgiven. I want to choke up chunks of my own sins. Chunks make me think of two things. Dog food and flesh. Chunks of flesh. So the idea that in this act, whatever, I want to be forgiven. I want to be released from this. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. I want to be forgiven. I can't apologize enough. I want to choke up chunks of my own sins. And we go back to me, the way, at least in my mind's eye, we go back to shadow work. We go back to the bile, the black tar, because we're going to get to tar in the future as well. That he wants to get all of this out. He wants to, but choke on it at the same time, still hurting himself. It still causes the protagonist pain. I want to choke up. I don't want to cough up. I want to feel it in my throat. I want to choke up chunks of my own sins. Gosh, it feels like somebody's really battling with their shadow here. And even if the sky cracks in mourning. Now, this is beautiful for two reasons. One, it's mourning, M-O-U. So the sky cracking in sadness for the passing or of something, someone, whether it be a person or maybe even, the relationship itself. Even if the sky cracks, we've had burnt skin breaking. And then we get the sky cracking in mourning. Cracks as well, lightning crack. The lyric, the line conjures up atmosphere to it as well. and the heavens just won't. They just won't open up for me. That's so defeatist. It's sad and it's small, and it feels again like this is a song full of guilt and shame and would you invite me in again? Would you invite me in again? Let me, not won't you pay for your arrogance? Let me pay for my arrogance. You're essentially asking somebody to let you, for permission to pay for your sins. There's something very Catholic about that as well. I can't get away from the slight religious undertones of that. And won't you show me your weakness? The chorus is repeated. And then we get Tangled with Why I Never Said. You say it doesn't matter. And then sobbing, which I'm not going to play again. I first listened to this album all the way through about a year ago. It was actually one of the last ones that I got into. Didn't listen to any of Sleep Token in the right order. When I tell you what a privilege it has been to go through this album, there is stuff in here which has taught me things about myself, which has prompted a community of people to share in comments, in Twitch streams and whatever. The fact that I wasn't, I only got into Sleep Token, like I said, just over a year ago now. Emergence was the first Sleep Token song I heard. But when people spoke about this band, it was always, got to be careful though, you'll get really involved. Well, I mean, I'm fucking in now, aren't I? I'm not sure there will ever be a band that I will think of in the same way, musically, lyrically, psychologically, just utterly tremendous. Sundowning is a tremendous album, and Bloodsport is one of the jewels in its crown, I think. So thank you for coming on this journey through Sundowning with me. And yes, we might make a few stops in other songs before we get there, but we are now on the highway to not hell, but well, it depends how you view this place will become your tomb. Atlantic is our next stop, and maybe after that I'd be able to take a deep breath, because if there were consequences to actions with Bloodsport, then they're about to be really, really highlighted in Atlantic. So thank you so much for watching this video. And as I said, if you're a member on Ko-fi this week, I will give a members only video. Will be a dive into Bloodsport from the room below, and indeed on screen now are all of my members on Ko-fi. Thank you to each and every one of you for the last. Thank you to even if you've just been a member for a couple of days or whatever. And I know it's been real busy recently, and it's amazing that even though Sleep Token aren't doing anything at the moment, that we have there. Of course, if you become a member on Ko-fi, you get access to the members only Discord. You get exclusive videos. You get early access to videos. You get to vote on polls for the next Twitch streams that we do. Twitch will be down here as well. You can always give me a follow there. We're on, like I said, 3-4 days a week. And June 26th, depending on when you're watching this, June 26th, the week of June 26th, 2026, is my, year anniversary of doing all of this. So fuck it. Come along, hang out. You might win a copy of The Teeth of God, which at some point I'm going to have to talk about on here as well. But yes, there's Ko-fi, there is Twitch, of course, and now there's merchandise as well. So if you want to get an Empathy's Power, the t-shirt, the University of Glencadia, all that stuff, it's all over there. Obviously, the link is in the description below, as well as is the link to the original video and the SIgil's breakdown. But yeah, thank you so very much for joining me on this journey through Sundowning, an album which literally has changed my life. So cheers, everyone. I hope it affects you in the same way it has me. No, I don't. I hope it affects you. I hope it makes you think. I hope that it questions. I hope that the videos where we do science breakdowns, I hope like there's quantum entanglement, fucking lyrical construction, musical syntax, whatever. If you've taken anything from these videos, I'm delighted, and I'm very, very grateful for everybody's support. And so, with Sundown Incomplete, I shall say this for the last time. Before we get to This Place Will Become Your Tomb, I shall see you for the next one.